In an alternate timeline, Cold War tensions don't just simmer, they boil over. The year is 1972. The nuclear codes are activated, and in the skies above the Arctic, a thunderous clash begins. American and Soviet nuclear bombers, fully armed, fully committed, race toward their targets. This is the story of the ultimate air war, Soviet versus American nuclear bombers. Who wins? What survives? Let's find out. In our alternate history, diplomacy has failed. With ICBM systems not yet fully reliable on either side, strategic bombers become the front line of Armageddon. The Soviets scramble their massive Tu-95 Bears and newer Tu-22 blind-tube blinders, escorted by MiG interceptors. From the U.S., the skies roar as B-52 Stratofortresses and a few elite B-58 Hustlers launch from North Dakota, Guam, and Alaska. Each side carries enough nuclear payload to level a continent. But getting there is the challenge. Speed versus range. Stealth versus numbers. The American B-52 is a high-altitude, long-range powerhouse, capable of refueling mid-air and hitting Soviet targets from thousands of miles away. The Soviet Tu-95, slower, but heavily armed with cruise missiles and capable of launching nukes from standoff distances. But it's not just about specs, it's about survival. Both sides throw everything into the air. Interceptors, radar jammers, and decoy drones. Over the Arctic Circle, the first skirmishes begin. B-52S face MiG-25 interceptors. Tu-95S are hunted by American F-4 Phantoms and Canadian CF-101SS. Thousands of miles from home, over frozen oceans and Scandinavian skies, the two sides collide. Soviet bombers launch long-range cruise missiles from beyond NATO radar, but the Americans are ready. NORAD intercepts several, while others slip through. Meanwhile, U.S. bombers penetrate deep into Soviet airspace. SAM sites light up the sky like a hellish fireworks show. Some B-52s are shot down. Others release their deadly cargo. The Soviets, too, succeed in hitting military targets in Europe, Alaska, and even northern Canada. No side escapes unscathed. But the difference? Reach and accuracy. By day's end, both the USSR and the U.S. have suffered catastrophic damage. But because of superior mid-air refueling, ECM, electronic countermeasures, and better radar penetration, more American bombers reach and destroy primary Soviet targets and vice versa. The Soviets inflict heavy damage across NATO and even hit parts of the US. But their cruise missile reliance and vulnerability to interception cost them dearly. Strategically, the US emerges with a marginal victory, if such a word can even be used. But the real winner? No one. Tens of millions are dead. Governments collapse. The global economy vanishes overnight. The Cold War ends, not in détente, but in radioactive silence. So, who wins in a Soviet versus US nuclear bomber clash? Technically, the US comes out on top due to air superiority, better bomber endurance, and more accurate strike capabilities. But the devastation left behind makes it a Pyrrhic victory. The world as we knew it, gone. Let's be grateful this never happened. And remember, in nuclear war, there are no real winners, only survivors, if any. Subscribe for more alternate history and military deep dives. This is your channel name, signing off.